this message.
Assalamu alaikum, family. It's your brother Landon X. We had some breaking news today, and I think we're gonna talk about it. Won't be on long at all. It's gonna be real quick. I'm actually out with this young lady.
Assalamu alaikum.
I just picked her up on on the side of the road real quick. She was looking so sad and needy, so I was just like, okay, let me just do my part since it's Ramadan. But all praise is due to Allah. We're gonna talk about what does justice really look like. Let's get it.
I was told to deliver this message.
Family, it's your brother Landon X. This is Nation Town TV Live. A very quick, succinct, straight to the point episode of Nation Town TV Live. I'm your brother Landon X. I have no idea who this is, hiding in my passenger side seat, But Ramadan Mubarak. We're gonna get right down to it, but first let me just go ahead and open up in the proper fashion. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who mercifully appeared to us in the person of Master W. Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. I further bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. But when I say that Muhammad is his messenger, I say that with all due love and respect and gratitude to all the prophets and messengers of Allah, from Abraham to Lot, to Moses, to Jesus, and of course, Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, peace be upon him. But when I say it with the utmost specificity of the Holy Quran that we're reading in this holy month of Ramadan, where it made the promise in 1636, Surah 10 and 47, and then went into deeper detail in Surah 14 and 4, that certainly a messenger would be raised for every nation, and that messenger would speak the language of the people, and I'm speaking none other than the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I would know nothing of these two beautiful, beautiful men. And when I say beautiful, I'm not talking about their physical appearance, which ain't hard to look at either, but I'm speaking of what they brought to the Aboriginal people of this earth. But I would know nothing about them if it were not for the man that those two hands put together. The most, well, I should say the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and those three great names. I greet you in the words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Shout out to everybody chiming in. I see you, Brother J Mo. You can hit us up with comments and questions real quick, but we won't be on long at all. But we just got some news. Breaking news. I know everybody and their mama and their grandma's cousin is on live or whatnot, speaking of the fact that a man by the name of Derek Chauvin, who was accused of the murder of our brother George Floyd, has been convicted on all counts, and that brings a certain level of solace to our people. And some might even use the word justice. Some might use that word. Do I call it justice? I think it's justice for those who personally knew George Floyd and loved him and cared for him. It's justice for his family. It's justice for his daughter, his mother, all those that he left behind in mourning. We always want to see justice in those matters when it comes to the family. Is it a victory for us as a people? I mean, you got to look at it this way. If a people or a system, I had it right the first time, when a people have wronged you for a certain amount of time, hundreds of years, you could even say thousands, and then one day they bring you a piece of chicken and a biscuit, is that justice? After 400 years of oppression, murder, rape, breaking up our families, and then one day they feeling nice and they bring you a half-dead flower. Is that justice? Like I said, this is justice for this particular case. But what does justice even look like? We're so deprived of justice as a people, we don't even know what it looks like. It's kind of like when I was watching with my wife, we were watching reruns of A Different World. And if you remember that show, there was a character named Freddie, a female, and she loved Dwayne Wade. She just loved him so much, especially in the second season. And when you have a crush on somebody, all they got to do is just look in your direction, and it just melts your heart. They can just walk past you and just say hi, and you'll run to your room or run to your house. You'll spend the rest of the day planning y'all wedding because this person you got a crush on just looked your way and just said hi, how you doing? How's your day? And from there, you in love. That's kind of how we are with our open enemy. Whenever he just looks in our direction and bats his eyes, we feel good about it. But like I said, I'm not going to be on long. Ramadan Kareem, Brother Ahmad, I see you. Shout out to Brother Tevis. I see you. Wa alaikum salam, dear brothers. Ramadan Mubarak to everybody watching, whether you're Muslim or not. As I said on my page, I encourage all Aboriginal people, even Caucasians, whoever is looking to better themselves. You want to use the month of Ramadan, the art and science of fasting, to help yourself. But let me just get my point out real quick before we get up out of here. First and foremost, when we talk about, I posted on my page, I think it was today or yesterday, because I ran into a brother when I was out and about, and he asked me a question. He said, what do you think about the verdict? Yeah, it was yesterday. He said, what do you think the verdict is going to be? And I said, which verdict? I was being a little coy, just a little bit. I said, which verdict? He said, he said, Chauvin, Derek Chauvin. And I said, which one? Which Derek Chauvin? And our lessons, we're taught that it's 103 million of them here in America. These are the numbers from the 1930s. And it's 400 million of them all over the planet Earth. Now, do they all have the devilishness in their heart? Somewhere in there, in their nature, it's in there. Do they all have the audacity and the wickedness to do what Derek Chauvin did? Not necessarily. But how many Derek Chauvins are really out there? How many of us are showing to work every day, clocking in with a Derek Chauvin supervisor? How many of you are spending your hard-earned money at a store that's owned by a Derek Chauvin? How many of us are sending our child to a school where the principal is a Derek Chauvin? Y'all saw in the news where they took a photo of a daycare, an early learning center, where they was basically starving all the black children. It was 3 black children sitting there with nothing on their tables while the white children ate first. So we got to ask ourselves, how many Derek Chauvins are there? That's usually that's a question that they try to consider whenever a bunch of dead bodies are found in a particular city. When suddenly they find a murdered person, a homicide over here, homicide over there, and if the MO seems the same, they start asking themselves, are we dealing with one murderer or several? So I'm just approaching this like a detective. How many Derek Chauvins are out there? And I'm not talking about just police officers. If you think that the one Derek Chauvin was convicted today, then I got news for you. It's going to be a hard rest of your life. Whether you live another 300 years, it's going to be a hard time for you if you think, because this is the same trick we pulled on ourselves when Donald Trump was elected. We gave Donald Trump the credit for over 400 years of oppression. We put it all on his shoulders. And when he failed to be elected for re-election, we celebrated like all of oppression in America was gone, even though the Caucasians' oppression on us started long before Donald Trump's father was even born. But with that said, the fact of the matter is there at least 400 million Derek Chauvins in this world. At least 103 million. There are a lot more than 103 million Caucasians in America today. But that's the number I'm going to settle on, 103 million, because as a believer in the Nation of Islam, I personally believe, I don't ask anybody else to believe this. And I'm not saying that this is the teachings and all of that. But I believe what's in our supreme wisdom, those numbers are in there for a reason, those particular numbers. It's not just a census reflection or a statistical reflection based on what was going on in the 1930s. I think those particular numbers, and I back that up mathematically, because if you do the square root research on the number 17 million, which was the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America at that time, and do that square root and juxtapose it to the 144,000 that are mentioned in the Bible, I'll just say that it adds up. So I'm gonna settle on 103 million at least. Fiery serpents, as they're mentioned in the Bible. So this is justice for his family. Hopefully it's closure. I'm glad that they got both. I'm glad that they got money and they got the perpetrator on all counts. I'm happy for his family. But please don't take this as some type of referendum on overall justice. Do we know what justice looks like? And it brought something to mind. It brought something to mind, the 4 horses of the apocalypse. Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. I see you. Ramadan Kareem. I see you. Tedeschi. Wa alaikum salam. I see you from Muhammad Mosque number 78. I see you, dear brother. I see you, Brother Tevis. Brother Tevis said we've been under a Derek Chauvin type government. Beloved, that's absolutely right. Long before Derek Chauvin. Long before Derek Chauvin was even thought of, before his grandma was even thought of, before his great-grandma was even thought of. I see you, Brother Kennard. All praises due to Allah. Brother said right and exact. So we just, you know, I know somebody's gonna watch it like, man, come on, man, just let us have this one. That's cool, but like I said, if you had a black enemy, which we all do, we all got one black person that done rubbed us the wrong way in our life, and if we see them to this day, no matter what we've done with ourselves, whether we done became a Muslim or we done got bettered ourselves, you know, went and got you a psychiatrist or got audited or whatever, we see that one black person that did us wrong 20 years ago, you're gonna twist your mouth up. And if that one person who did one thing bad to you that you never forgave them for, if they came up to you and said, hey, man, I'm sorry about what I did back in the day, man, here's a candy bar. You'll probably slap that candy bar out of his hand. Well, this for the masses of Aboriginal people here in America, this is a candy bar. It ain't even a good one. It's like one of them off-brand. It's like $500 grand? Yeah. It's like one of them candy bars. You know, people don't even, black folks don't even eat. You know what I mean? What's the coconut one? The one that got coconut? Mounds. This is like a Mounds bar. This ain't even legit. It ain't like a Butterfinger. It's not even legit. But like I said, I don't want to take away from the fact that I'm happy for his family, his friends, our brother, Stack 5, who since this incident happened, brother Steven Jackson, former NBA player who was very close to our brother George Floyd, who has converted to Islam since this. Shout out to brother Stack 5. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for those that really knew my brother, that really knew George Floyd. But overall, this is nothing for us as far as justice is concerned. But like I was saying, this reminded me of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I know you probably heard of those 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And when we think of that, those who have any type of Bible understanding, the first thing comes to your mind is Revelation 6 and 5. But a lot of people don't realize the four horsemen were first mentioned in the book of Ezekiel. Yeah, in the book of Ezekiel. 14 and 21. 14 and what? 21. 21. It says, for thus saith the Lord God, how much more when I send my 4 sore judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword and the famine and the noisome beast, and the pestilence. To cut off from it man and beast. I'm gonna read them 4 again. The sword, that means war. Famine, that means lack of food, lack of good food, healthy food. Noisome beast, I think we know who the beasts are. And the pestilence. Shout out to Coco 19, Coco 19. Coco 19. I don't want to make fun of COVID-19, but as the minister said, it is indeed a pestilence from heaven. But that's where it's first mentioned in the Bible. That's where it's first mentioned. And then, of course, it's brought to us in the book of Revelations. It says, when the Lamb opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living creature. Now watch this. We're going to get up out of here, but watch this. When the Lamb opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living creature say, come. I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. You go to any courthouse, you're going to see what they call Lady Justice. This blind cave woman with a cloth around her eyes, and she's holding scales, which represents justice. And black itself is the color that's associated with justice. That's why all judges and Supreme Court justices wear black robes. They tell you all these negative things about black They put it in their dictionaries. Shout out to my Moorish family. They put it in their dictionaries that there's a negative connotation to black. But when it comes to justice, why do they see fit to use black as the color of justice? You got to think about this. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the 4 living creatures saying, now watch this. It says 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages. And do not damage the oil and the wine. What does that mean? Why is it bringing up a day's wages right after it talks about justice? Like I said, we don't really know what justice looks like. Let me stop tiptoeing through the tulips. Justice looks like me and you. Justice is black unity. Black is the color of justice. But in that scripture, Revelation 6 and 5, where it breaks down the 4 horsemen, they start talking about a day's wages. For those that don't know, your wages are your earnings, monetary earnings. A lot of talk these days about getting a bag, generational wealth, and that's good. What are we doing with our wages? What are we doing with our day's wages? Where are we spending it? Who are we spending it with? Y'all know how we talk on Nation Town TV. And I'm going to keep talking it until Allah subtracts every ounce of breath from our lungs. As our lessons say, the 3 cubic feet of air that we breathe every hour. When that 3 diminishes to 0 for me, that's how long I'm gonna be talking about this, because it's the button that we have not pushed yet. We done did all the protesting, all the praying, all the crying, all the screaming, all the begging. Protest, the word protest itself means prayer. Praying to who? Praying to our real God. And that is the Caucasian in his world. So why does it bring up days' wages? We got to deal with that. Why don't people associate black with justice like they should? You ever wondered why the judges wear black robes? Look it up. They need those black robes to emulate the black skin that they don't have. They're perpetrating a fraud right in our face. And we beg them to give us something that we were born with to give each other. It's just facts. It's just facts. It's just facts, family. But like I said, I'm not going to be on long. I did intend to be on strong. Shout out to everybody. Wa alaikum salam. Sister Shamika, I see you. Brother Justin, I see you. Yes, sir, I see you. Brother Justin said, I spend my wages on mounds. Oh, man, I'll see how you eat all that coconut, bro. I see you, brother. I see you. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. But I'm going to get up out of here. But before we do so, I want to leave you with something. Just a little message to the family, to everybody. While we take this, it's a dub. I give it that. I'll give it that. It's a dub. It's a win. You know, because there's a black family that's going to sleep better tonight. I'm always for that. I'm always for that. One family at a time. It's a black family that's going to sleep better tonight. Because I think we kind of are too judgmental when we think that when a family gets a little bit of money. Because when you talk about a black life, $27 million is nothing. Especially after everybody get their cut, including Knuckle Sam. And you talking about a whole family that mourned this brother. And it turned out the brother was loved in Texas, where he's originally from. And everybody that knew him in Minnesota loved our brother George Floyd. So it was a lot of people that really loved him. But speaking of love, there's a very sad, reoccurring theme that I'm seeing with us today that gotta change. That's gotta change. And that is the fact that as black people, even those of us that call ourselves woke, that call ourselves conscious, to say that we pro-black, I don't even like that term pro-black, because to be pro-black, then that insinuates that the opposite is anti-black. You either pro-black, neutral black, or anti-black. So if somebody calls me pro-black, then I got to ask you, what kind of black are you? You either neutral, meaning you don't care about your blackness, the color God gave you, or you anti-black. But anyway, one thing I'm noticing with us is that we operating right now, even the wokest of us, the most conscious of us, we operating with the same mind as the most racist Derek Chauvins that exist when it comes to black men, and women too, but particularly black men. Do you know we have the same outlook on black men as a Ku Klux Klan member has? What do I mean by that? If you go to Derek Chauvin right now, especially now knowing that he's going to spend the rest of his life, his natural life, in a prison because of the murder of a black man. If you went to any racist white man right now and you asked them, Mr. Racist White Man, could you please tell me what kind of black man do you like? You act like you hate them all. Is there any kind of black man that you like? And if he's witty and honest, he'll look you in your eye and say, yeah, there's one type that I like. A dead one. I like dead black men. And in 2021, it seems like the only type of black man that even black people all agree to love is a dead one. Can we start loving the living George Floyds? Can we start loving the living Trayvons, the living Mike Browns, the living Alton Sterlings, the living Breonna Taylors, the Sandra Bland? Can we start loving living black people? That means your neighbor, that means your brother, that means your sister, that means your friend. That means old boy on social media, on Facebook. That means, can you love a brother without them having a bullet in their head from the enemy? Are we so hooked on euthanasia and martyrdom that we don't even respect the black man unless his blood is on a white man's sword or on a white man's hand? That means we have the same mind as a Ku Klux Klan member. We're the only black man that we respect and show reverence to. And notice how when a black man is murdered by the enemy, we have unconditional love for him. And we get irritated by anybody bringing up that brother's flaws. George Floyd, he had struggles with drugs. Just recently, we lost our brother Earl Simmons, aka DMX. We all know his struggles with drugs. He was very forthright about his struggles with drugs. And when people try to bring that up, like that one ignorant clown did, I'm not even gonna mention his name, a brother, we get defensive. We defend our brother and say, hold on, man. Settle on his best part. But guess what, people? You can do that when the brother's still breathing. Trust me, I've tried it. It works. I need to do it more. We all need to do it more. But it works. You can show them that same kind of love. There are people who just said, F that nigga yesterday, who are talking about rest in peace George Floyd today. So let's try that. Let's see if that works. And watch justice and equity just overflow in our communities, in our lives, almost overnight. If we start looking at every brother and sister like they are a living George Floyd, a living Sandra Bland, a living Breonna Taylor. I know it seems crazy to love and respect a living black man who ain't never gave you nothing, who ain't never paid none of your bills. I know it seems unbelievable. That's because we have our enemy's mind, but try it on for size. And out of respect to George Floyd and out of a celebration for the justice that his family received today, just try that today and tomorrow. Try it for the next week. Try it for the rest of Ramadan. Loving a living black man and a living black woman, you'll be amazed how easy it is, how much peace it brings in your life and how much peace it brings for us. But not just peace, but equity. It's even money in loving your people. It's money. You know, it's benefit. Just in loving yourself and loving the people. And for those of you who want to love white people so much, I'm not mad at you. And I'm going to close on this. Y'all know how I am. Hey, if you want to love everybody, you want to love everybody, that's cool, man. Do that. But stop cutting these rubber checks of love, because love is just like currency. You got to have it for yourself in order to give it. If I wrote you a check for $1 million and I ain't have but $5 in my bank account, you ain't walking out of that bank with none of my money. They're going to laugh you out the bank. So in order to give somebody $1 million, you got to build up at least $1,001 or at least $1 million for that check to clear. We writing a lot of phony checks to white people saying we love everybody. Let's build up enough love for our own people to where we got something to break off to everybody else. So if you want to love everybody, still, the source of that is loving yourself. The source of that is loving yourself. So let's work on that. Let's love a living black man tomorrow. Let's find a living Breonna Taylor tomorrow that you don't know. You're not trying to get something out of them. It ain't personality worship. It ain't because they on social media. It ain't because they this or they that, or you like the way they dunk, or you like how many touchdowns they scored last year, or you like their last album. No, just because you see that black man, say, man, what's good? You know, we ain't at the point yet as black men where we can just randomly say, man, I love you, black man. But if you see a black man that you know enough, and you know it ain't gonna be no funny business if you tell him that, just go ahead and tell him.
I love you, black man.
Whatever. I love you, black woman. See how that is? It's easy. My food is gonna taste better tonight because I told her that I love her. Trust me. Trust me. She ain't gonna hock a loogie in it tonight, you know? So ain't gonna be that special sauce in my soup tonight. Oh, praise is due to Allah. But listen, I love y'all. I love all y'all. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman.
We love you.
I love y'all. Living. I ain't gotta wait for Derek Chauvin to pull you over. I love you right now. I love you, sister, right now. I don't need no police to kick down your door and kill you while you just woke up out of your sleep. I don't need that to happen. I don't need nobody to abduct you from your car and then hang you in a prison cell, sister. I love you right now. Let's do that for everybody that we see for at least the next 30 days. And watch justice and equity flow out of that. Listen, man, I'm going to leave y'all as I greeted y'all in the words of peace. But I mean what I said, y'all. And I said what I meant. I love y'all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I was told to deliver this message.